So this final diploma goes to our valedictorian. It is a classics diploma. The class picked the speaker they wanted to hear the most. They chose well. So, Yumna Syed.
So I want to start by setting the record straight. I'm not still hypnotized. It's been 2 years. Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2024. Each one of us here today has had a unique and special journey at St. Mark's, so I want to take a brief moment to reflect and feel proud of our accomplishments. Looking back, we cannot forget the people who supported us through it all. Family, friends, advisors, teachers, coaches, and everyone else who played even a seemingly minor role. You all are the reason why we get to be seated here today, so thank you. I certainly know I would not be here without my support system. To my family, to all the friends I've made here, to my wonderful advisor, Ms. McBride, to Mr. Corazzini's third form TGS class, where I learned I actually wasn't afraid of public speaking. Thank you. I urge the class of 2024 today to find your support system and thank them personally. These past few weeks, I found myself looking back to our freshman year. It seems bizarre to me that just 4 years ago, we were getting to know each other 6 feet apart while masked at all times. That just 4 years ago, we were sitting at lunch with friends trying to yell jokes over the plexiglass dividers. While 4 years should not feel like a long time, it does to me. Because as I reflect, I am unable to recognize the person I was when I got on my first Zoom class or arrived on campus for the first time. I look back and see a 14-year-old girl with braces and glasses who had no idea what was coming in the next few years. She didn't quite know who she was. And I'm sure that that was the case for the majority of us. But now, as we sit here today, ready to move forward, we are no longer those people. Our time at St. Mark's has changed us. To better imagine the transformation we've experienced, I'd like to share a quote with you all from one of my favorite novels, The Bell Jar. I believe it applies to both our past at St. Mark's and our future beyond St. Mark's. I saw my life branching out before me like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children. And another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor. And above these figs were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. You may be wondering, how does a fig tree apply to our lives? Well, as we began our time at St. Mark's, some of us may have had interests and passions that allowed us to think that the future was lined up. But for the most part, we had a lot to learn. As new students at St. Mark's, that is where we began growing our fig trees, both individually and collectively. My fig tree, for example, was relatively bare as I entered St. Mark's. I stepped onto campus with no idea of what I wanted to do or who I was. Thankfully, I convinced myself to try new things. My freshman year, I signed up for computer science with Mr. Friedman. And as much as I struggled at first, I ended up loving it. I also signed up for Latin, and I'll admit, I only signed up because I heard that you could wear a laurel wreath on prize day. But seriously, over the past 4 years, my passion for classics and computer science continued to develop. But my fig tree is just one example. In front of me here today, there is an orchard of fig trees that have grown in so many different ways. And our trees have not grown in perfect conditions. It took a while for the roots to grow. As we all know, our beginnings as a class were quite tough. As I mentioned, COVID heavily affected our years here. We spent minimal time in classes during freshman year. And not to mention, our class missed the huge bonding opportunity that is Brentwood. But despite all of this, we were still able to persevere through. Our persistence through challenges has been extremely evident in our chapel talks this year. A large portion of the talks centered around seeking refuge in different activities. One example would be music. Our class has so many talented musicians, and quite a few of us performed as a part of our chapel talk. Some of us spoke about finding tranquility in athletics. And though our class had such a wide variety of talks, there was a clear theme of vulnerability and resilience. We had to endure so many challenges during our freshman year, and I believe that we've come out the other end stronger. Ever since freshman year, we have consistently participated in wellness opportunities offered here, whether that be hosting workshops or attending mindfulness walks, and I like to think this started because of our third form check-ins with Mr. Corazini over Zoom. Our collective experiences as a class have impacted the ways our fig trees have grown, but still, we have been able to grow our own individual figs. Not one tree is identical to the other. And this is due to the structured culture here at St. Mark's. We are constantly trying new things, not exactly by will. The required courses, the scheduled community block events, the afternoon commitments, all of these can feel taxing. At one point or another, we have surely complained about these numerous expectations. Even I've no doubt been frustrated about having 0 free blocks on Thursday schedules. But if we reflect now, I'm more than positive that we can each find a new interest that stemmed from a once annoying requirement. The fact that we have been given the opportunity to engage in all kinds of potential interests is the reason that we have been able to nurture new figs constantly. Flash forward to today, we have no idea what the future holds for us. But one thing is for sure, there are so many possibilities. In other words, our fig trees are flourishing. Though now we are faced with a new problem. What do we do with our trees? With all these passions that we have, how are we ever supposed to pick one? The answer is simple. Don't pick one. Our lives are going to take us in several different directions. What we once saw as our dream job may just become a gateway to finding our true calling. Every fig is just as important as the other, and that makes us who we are as people. I understand that sometimes it can feel like we have to sum ourselves up to be just one thing. But we are all so complex, and to focus on just one fig in a tree would be to diminish our potential. As important as it is to continue to nurture our current figs, it is just as important to grow new ones. In the last few days of school, a peer in my Greek class turned to Dr. Harwood and asked, "What is one piece of advice you have for us as we leave St. Mark's?" Dr. Harwood responded with just 2 words, "Join in." After seeing our confused faces, she explained, "When we leave St. Mark's, there will no longer be the required courses, scheduled community block events, or afternoon commitments. For the most part, we won't be forced to explore interests anymore, because we're on our own. So to join in means to make an intentional effort to keep growing our figs, because St. Mark's was just the beginning. We have so much ahead of us, and if we stop growing now, we'd be missing out on so much. So, as we embark onto the next chapter of our lives, join in. Push yourself to try new things, talk to new people, join clubs. You never know what figs might just start to grow. You may find a new interest in an unsuspecting place. Class of 2024, as we move past St. Mark's, may our fig trees never stop growing. Once again, congratulations and thank you.